And hello, I'm wakasm, and today I'm playing another game of Pandemic the Cure with the experimental meds. Whoa, camera tracking's going crazy. With the experimental meds expansion? Yes, I guess we're ready to get started. Before we get started, I guess I have to introduce you to how I'm going to be scoring these games moving forward. So I guess let's do that right now. Where is it? There we go. Hey, it's not working. There we go. So, yeah, this is my monstrosity of roles and combinations that we're going to be using to track any progress I make in this game over the next, I don't know, 20 years that I play it, I guess. I haven't won since I've been doing this, so everything here is pretty empty. But basically what you see is all the roles up on the top and all the different combinations that they can be played with. And you kind of see at the top where it says I, S, and H. That stands for intro, standard, and heroic, plus the two little expansions. So when I successfully win with some of these roles, then I will be, just fixing this, what will I be doing? I'll be marking it off. So hopefully you'll see some updates. Hopefully today we win and we can update this for the next video. So yes, it is a monstrosity. You can see both sides. There you go. The left side, right side. But right now nothing's filled out because I haven't won yet. You can see at the top, I'm going to track the wins and losses for each role. I think for all of this, I'm going to be playing 2-player, but I might once in a while play 3 roles or 4. There are a couple roles in the expansion that suggest playing with 3 roles. I forget which ones they are. I should probably mark it on this somewhere. But yeah, probably be mostly for 2-handed. I don't think it's going to really matter how I track it. Basically, all I'm tracking is which roles have won the game with other roles. So eventually there might be overlap, but I think we have a long way to go. And I will probably forcibly make no repeats happen for quite a while since there's clearly so many combinations of roles that can happen. So yeah, that's this. So I've introduced you to the Pandemic the Cure tracking that I have going on. So I guess we're going to get started. Setup took a little bit faster, as you just saw. I think the first time it took me 10 minutes. This time, I think when I looked up, it was somewhere around 6 minutes, if I was looking at it correctly. So yeah, I don't know. You can probably see it at the beginning and, hopefully I can get it down faster. I thought the whole setup cam thing might be a good piece of information so you can kind of see realistically how long it takes things to set up. I know in some of the bigger games I might play, it might take me 30 minutes to set up, so I'll have to speed up that camera footage 20 times to not make it take up 17 minutes of the video. But as always, if you like this content, please like, subscribe, comment. Let me know of any rule mistakes I make. That's an important one. I do make a lot of mistakes and it's important that I know. So anyway, let's get started. So here we go. This is our setup for the moment. I think I did everything correctly. Let me double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So looks like we have a lot of yellow to deal with. So we're going to be trying to get to these 2 spaces early. I drew the scientist, which the scientist is to the total of any role to try and find a cure in your region. So a better person to cure of the 2. And then the field director may treat an adjacent region instead with the treat action, and then during your turn move pawns to your region from adjacent regions for free. So a little bit easier movement between the 2. Like last time, I'm going to track turn order with, I guess we'll do it with a yellow pawn. And then I got to determine who is going first. And because I keep forgetting to bring a useful die for this, I'm just going to roll these. And the first one that gets a bad infection symbol, which was the field director, goes first. So I had it correct. So the field director will go first. We are starting here. These are our 3 event cards. We are trying to cure 5 diseases, and we are playing on standard because since I've been playing this game again, which was, this is only my 2nd time playing, I have not won yet. So we are going to try and win. And I guess you can see my face for a little bit. I might turn off my camera if it gets too annoying. Once again, for some reason, I have the position off where my head should be here, but it's way over here. So I'm trying to fix that. Baby steps with this setup. Baby steps. I still have issues with my camera, so and my mic. I don't know. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm trying to get better at it. Anyway, we're gonna roll and let's see what we get. All right, so these are our dice, and we are in an okay position. We are going to take this plane to start the game with, and we are going to simply fly all the way down here. I think actually we'll fly here. I don't think it matters. I did forget the helper cards, so let's get the helper cards somewhere visible. That is, if there is even room. I guess we really only need hot zone effects and the main actions. Everything else we don't kind of need on camera. So I'll put these here. Hopefully they remain visible. But I am still forgetting what the hot zone effects are, but this I could spend to move any hot zone or infection die in this region to an adjacent region. So I could spend this die right here and I can move a yellow out if I want to. I could try to get a hazardous sample. I could use this. This is called hazardous samples. I could use this basically to add +1 when trying to find a cure. And if you forgot, when you're trying to find a cure, you're trying to add up all the dice. And I think it's 13. I don't know why I always forget. No, sorry. No, yeah. Total is 13 or more. So basically I would need a 12 if I use this. But if I do that, I have to advance the infection rate a tick, and depending on what part of the game we're in, that might be worth it or that might not be worth it. It's probably not worth it this early on. And I also have the scientists who can reduce that by another 2. So basically it means that the scientists could potentially cure some of these diseases with like 2 dice if the right circumstances come up, which is kind of interesting. Don't know if it'll happen, but we'll try to make it happen if we can. All right, so we use the airplane to fly here, and they may treat in an adjacent region. So I have 2 treats right here. I have one with a ship on it that I can move with, but I think we're just going to simply treat 2 yellow dice, one from the region we're in and one from the region adjacent. And then when can we give samples? We can only give, we can't take. All right, so there's no point in the field director trying to get samples right now. So we're going to take a risk and we're going to roll one of these dice and hopefully not get a advance the infection rate. And we lucked out. We got another syringe. So we will cure, we'll cure from over here since this is harder to get to for the scientists. And I guess we won't do anything else. We'll leave it at that. So that is the end of the field director's turn. We are now going to, we could give samples if we wanted to. We could try to find a cure, but we can't. So now we're going to infect regions. We do it with 3 dice because that's where we are on the infection track. So we're going to grab 3 dice. 1, 2, 3. And we are going to roll these dice. And we got 2 6s and a 5. And then now it is going to be the scientist's turn. All right, so I feel like a better start this game than last. Well, the scientist is in an interesting position because they can collect 3 samples right now. And if they wanted to, oh wait, hold on, we forgot something. If infection dice are added here, I always forget these dice. There's only 1 on the board right now. So when infection dice are added here, change this to evacuation, and then draw and roll 2 infection dice. So forgot to do that. This is only my 2nd game playing with the hot zone effects. Maybe my 3rd game. I might have played with it a long time ago, but only my 2nd game recently. So it's a 4 and a 3. All right, so we have 3 samples we can collect, and we have a boat and a treat. So I think we're just going to use the boat to come here, and we will treat. There are more red dice right now on the board than blue dice. We'll take our red dice off the board, and that's these 2 actions, and we are going to get 3 samples. Scientists right now have 3 of their dice locked up with 3 samples, but the scientist is going to try to find a cure. Let's see something. Do I break anything by doing this? Hold on. All right, let's zoom in on this area. So we're trying to cure yellow on the 1st turn or 2nd turn. So we need 13. We need 11 on these dice because the scientist adds 2 to the total. So we need 11 total. All right, so this is a horrible roll. We got 4 and 2 plus signs. So we are not going to be curing this turn. So these dice are all going to remain locked up for the scientist. And then now we are going to infect. We're going to draw 3 more dice. So we said this was going well, but now it feels like it is not going well. There we go. This is what we got. So we could really use some CDC symbols right now. All right, we got one. It's not too bad. All right, so we are going to roll for the field director. And wow, so we were doing really good on biohazards until this roll. Now we're getting 3 total infections. 2, 3. Luckily, that doesn't cause a epidemic. Is it epidemic? I always forget like the names of the things that happen. Yeah, so epidemic and outbreaks. Yeah, so it does not cause an epidemic yet, but we were doing good with none, and then now we only have 2 treat symbols. So I think we're going to simply, and then I think we will start on a new color. Don't know why, but that's what I'm choosing. So that is all the actions for the field director. So that was kind of a short turn, very uneventful. We're trying 3 dice, the colors that we got, and 4. So we are now at risk of 2, 1 in black and 1 in yellow. So what we really need is we need yellow, or we need the scientist to get lucky here and cure yellow so that we can potentially clear all those yellow dice on the next turn before it outbreaks. All right, so these 2 dice, we are simply just going to collect a sample, and then we are going to treat a dice. We are going to remove a red. Now we're going to remove a black so that if we do roll a epidemic symbol or a biohazard symbol, that this doesn't get mixed back, you know, in and potentially cause this to outbreak. That's what we're doing. All right, so that was it for the scientist's turn for that, but now the scientist is going to try and cure yellow. So 4 dice needs an 11 on these 4 dice. All right, this time we did it. We didn't even need the scientist's ability. We got a 17. So these are all going to go back inside the bag. We're going to cure yellow. So we are 1/5 of the way there. And that means the scientist is going to get all her dice. So now comes the really big moment. Are we going to have really bad luck with this dice roll? That's what I want to know. But if we can make it through this dice roll without any biohazards, like the first 2 turns, then we'll be in pretty good shape, I think. And we did. So let's see what we want to do with all. All right, so we can probably just move here with the airplane. Wait, what can we do? During your turn, move pawns to your region from an adjacent region for free. Do we want to do this? Is there any reason why we want the scientists to move? I don't think so, right? I think right now the scientists staying where they are. So yeah, let's just use this airplane to move here. So that is 1 action. 4 treat symbols. For 1 treat symbol, we can put all these yellow dice into the middle. For another treat symbol, we can put this black into the middle. 2 treat symbols. For another treat symbol, we can remove all these yellow dice and put it back into the bag. This way, if we outbreak, we don't have to, or if we have an epidemic, we don't have to mix them back in. And then for this last one, I think we said we want to work on black, but I'm going to switch it and we're going to work on red instead. Reason being is that there's actually red here, so depending on what is rolled, the scientist might be able to collect an extra dice. I don't know if we're going to need to do it, but that's what we're going to do. So that's the field director's turn. So we are simply just infecting with 3 more dice. Things feel pretty managed right now. Getting yellows back out of the bag is going to be super helpful for us. So that's what we're hoping to do right now. And we are going to roll. And we have rolled a 5, a 1, and a 1. A 1 and a 1. So this area is not too great for us, but we'll see what we can do. If an outbreak happens, an outbreak happens. All right, so the scientist is going to roll now. 1 biohazard, so we're going to take care of that first. And that is going to be enough to force us to re-roll these 3 dice. Plus, we're going to roll this and 3 more dice. We are going to roll all these dice. These are what we're working with, so let's move those out of the way. I don't know why the dice are like sticking to my hands today. Ah, see? This one's sticking to my hand. Alright, this was a plus. think I'm probably gonna have to get my dice tower. We have 2 of these, which is not horrible results. 2 reds in the 6 and the 2. Technically, you're supposed to put them in order, but we lose a dice. So when we get a purple one, it means we grab a dice from the bag and it gets removed from the game. So we're going to put all the removed dice. Actually, you know what? We're going to put them over here. Whoops. Track them above that. Okay. So then we re-roll this. We got another symbol. So now we can actually use some of these event cards. So I guess we should probably take a closer look at these event cards. I set all this up for a reason. Let's do it. I'm supposed to be doing this. I'll leave the cards where they are. So we can move any 2 infection dice from any regions to the treatment center if we need to, which might not be a horrible thing to do since we can then collect 2 samples right now with what we have. We can skip the infect regions step this turn. I don't think we need to do that right now. And after rolling, we're trying to find a cure, we can set 1 rolled sample to any result. So that's kind of interesting. This might be worth doing just because if we have 2 samples with the scientist, if we get a single 6, then we can just get a second 6 and we can cure with 2 dice. So this might be worth trying out to do actually. So I guess what we need to figure out is, I'm going to re-roll this boat. The scientist is not going to move, or are they going to move? Don't have enough to do both events. That's kind of the problem here. I think we're going to gamble because we have 3 dice here that we can get rid of. So instead of, okay, yeah. So we're going to roll this dice and we're hoping to get a treat is what we're hoping for and not a biohazard. And we got a treat. So what we're going to do is we're going to treat. And you know what? Yeah, we're doing red dice purely because of the fact that this is a potential outbreak. And then we are going to grab the 2 samples with the 2 sample symbols. That's all the samples, or that's all the dice actions. So the scientist has 2 red sample dice, and now we're going to try to cure. And if we roll 2 6s naturally, then we're going to cure it because the scientist only needs an 11 to cure. If we roll 1 6, then we can use the major research grant to turn it into a 6 and just cure red right off the bat and get us 2/5 of the way there. I think that's what we're going to do, and we're just going to risk the blue at the top from outbreaking. And I think this is a good plan. Let me know if you think it's a good plan. So we got 1 6 and 1 of these. So we're going to spend 3 of these CDC symbols to do this after re-rolling when trying to find a cure. Set any 1 rolled sample to any result. Slide this over a little bit. See that? We're going to set this to a 6. That's a 12. The scientist only needs an 11 because of their power. So we are going to end up curing red pretty early. And that, I think, is good. We did forget to do one thing. We were supposed to roll this and put it where we were supposed to put it. We were supposed to put it... Watch this effect. 1 infection dice are added here. Change this to evacuation drop. Doesn't affect anything. So that was the scientist's turn. It's going to be the field director's turn in a second. But first, we have to infect. 3 dice. Okay. We have 1 blue here, so if it rolls a 1, we are going to outbreak. Let's do this, and then let's see if we roll a 1. We did not roll a 1, so that's good. So we're going to do... That was a pretty good outcome as far as rolls go. Then it is the field director's turn. All right, so this is a weird one because none of this is good for the field director. I mean, the plane is pretty good because we can go all the way up here if we want to, but all of this is pretty bad. So we are going to roll 1 dice at a time. All right, so we got another sample. That's not what we want, so we're going to roll it again. Another sample, so we're going to roll it again. All right, so we got a boat and a treat. So that is not too bad for us right now. I have to decide, let's roll another dice and see what we get. Keeping 1 sample might not be too bad because I can give it to the scientist. This is what we have going right now. I'm going to keep this sample for a second. Instead, I'm going to reroll this airplane. Trying to get a treat symbol. Got a biohazard, so that's not good. Is it worth it to try and get a second treat? We're going to try and get another treat symbol. We're going to keep that last sample. And we got another biohazard. So much for luck on our side. So we're going to use this airplane to fly all the way up here. We're going to treat, and then we are going to simply take the sample. And then we are going to, during your turn, move pawns to your region from an adjacent region for free. We're going to move this pawn into the region with us for free. And then we're going to give this sample to the scientist. And also, we forgot to give ourselves another event. Questionable method. After rolling when trying to find a cure, draw dice from the bag and put them into the treatment center. 2. +1 if you draw 2 dice. 2 if you draw 5 dice, or +3 if you draw 8 dice. That's pretty good, like, later on. Because then you can kind of remove most of those dice without a lot of treat actions, because you have the cured stuff. But yeah, we're not going to do that right now. Alright, so that is the end of the field director's turn. We are going to draw 3 dice. A nice healthy bag of dice right now, so I'm feeling kind of okay about this playthrough. And this is all good because we can't outbreak this turn with these colors. And we are going to roll. And we got 1 CDC. We did get a 3 on the black, so we do risk outbreaking over there, but that's okay. We have to not roll 2 biohazards on this set of dice. So let's see how it works. All right, only 1 biohazard. We did not get any sample symbols. So we're going to do our 1 biohazard. We did not epidemic yet. I mean, I suppose. Why does this one look so funny? I believe this is the treat symbol, but something's going on with the printing on these. You can see that, like, on my dice. There we go. The printing's like off. Not the best quality. Anyway, I think I had, hopefully I didn't just cheat, but yeah. We'll use one of the treats to just get rid of a blue. We're going to see if we can get a sample before we do anything else. So we're going to put these right here. We're going to re-roll this boat. Problem is, if the field director gets any biohazard symbols, all the dice that are in the middle are going to go away. So we need to, like, try to one by one see how many samples we can get out of the middle to try to cure with our dice. And if I roll these biohazards, then I might just remove that white blue dice right now. You know what? That's actually smart thinking on my part. We are not going to use this yet. We're going to re-roll this boat first. Because if I roll a biohazard, then that's just going to go away. And that's silly. We don't want to do that. Did not roll a biohazard. We want a sample symbol though. Alright, we got 1 sample symbol. So now I will treat a blue dice and then collect it. Alright, so that is 2 dice down. I guess we will try and reroll this. Actually, we will reroll this treat icon. And my whole desk is shaking. Biohazard. Okay, so we knew it was going to happen. We are now in this next infection rate with 4 dice. So I am at risk of 1 outbreak this turn. I drew 4 black dice, or I drew a black dice. That is the only color right now that's at risk of outbreaks, so we'll see what happens. Hold on. Move any 2 infection dice from any region to the treatment center. We're gonna see what happens. We don't want a 3 on this black dice. And we got the 3 on the black dice that I did not want, so take care of that first. So this 3 is going to land right here. It's going to outbreak. So we have our first outbreak. Then we have a 4, and then these 2 6s go right here. So now we are simply going to, we will just put this blue dice in. Now we have 2 blue dice. So let's see what we roll for the cure. Scientist needs an 11. Maybe we'll get lucky on this roll. And we did not get lucky enough. Can't do anything with that, so we're just gonna put these right here. And then now we are going to roll 4 more dice. And actually now I think we're gonna do this. Hold on. Before we end our turn, we're gonna use our move any 2 infection dice from any region to the treatment center. And we are simply going to move 1 of these black dice and 1 of these blue dice. Kind of hedge our bets on some outbreaks stuff that could potentially happen. Alright, we got 4 dice, 2 blacks, 1 yellow, 1 purple. Oh, we forgot to do this again. Hopefully it doesn't mess with us. Alright, what was this? Spend to reroll a biohazard. Okay, well, that would have been helpful last turn, but we didn't have it there. Okay, so we get a 3. We get 1 of these. We get another 4. We are at risk of outbreaking in the purple 4 area too. All right, so that was the end of the scientist's turn. It is now the field director's turn. The field director only has 4. I've got another event. Give any player any number of samples from one player to another player, no matter where they are. Okay, it could be useful. Not useful currently for us. All right, no biohazard, so that's pretty good for us. Okay. Can't really get here unless we roll a plane, and I don't know if it's worth it to try to roll for a plane right now. We can clear up some stuff, though. Don't know. We have a lot of treatment dice here right now. So this is what I think we're going to do. I think we are going to simply clean up some stuff. I think we are going to a blue 6 into the middle. We are going to put 2 red dice into the middle. And then we are going to clean up the 2 red dice and get them back into the bag. So that maybe we can start drawing them over other colors. And then we're going to use this sample, collect another blue dice, and we are going to give it. And that's what our turn is going to be. So we are going to draw 4 dice. We have 2 potential outbreaks going on. Now that I think about it, I probably should have went here and put some black dice into the middle, but we'll see what happens. Luckily, the only color right now that's at risk of outbreaks is the purple. So we don't want to roll 4 on this purple dice, which we did not, which is good for us. So we got another one of these symbols. So now we can use 2 of our cards. And then we're going to put the 5, the 1, and the 5. Got a lot of dice into this 5 area and this 4 area, but we're going to try to take care of that soon. But now it is the scientist's turn with only 4 dice, and we're going to see, and these are the 3 locked samples we have. So let's see what we can do. 3 boats and a sample symbol. We cannot cure with only 1 sample symbol, but what we can do is we can start the process of being prepped for this. So I think we're just going to use 2 boats, treat one of these black dice, and I think we'll just play it safe for now, and we will grab this blue dice so that potentially the field director can get 2 of his dice back. So we have 4 dice to try and cure blue. Those are better odds for us, especially for the scientist. So let's see how this goes. And boom, didn't even need the scientist's power. So this, and then this blue one, are all going to go back into the bag. We've cured blue, so we are 3/5 of the way there. And all these blue dice can go back in the bag, which is great for us, because we are about to pull another 4 dice out of the bag. And we are hoping not to pull any yellows, purples. Those are really the only colors right now that we absolutely care about. All right, so this is a pretty good mix of dice. Only issue is if I roll 3 of the same number on the blue, then there's a chance I outbreak, but I can't really control that if it happens. So let's roll. And not too bad. Get another one of these. And now if we want to, we can just skip a whole infect turn if we need to. And the field director gets 3 of their dice back. So let's see what we can do. So 1 biohazard. Kind of an okay position there. And then we have some treat stuff going on. So we are going to use 1 treat action. We are going to fly first all the way over here. And then we are just going to treat all these yellow, all these blue, and 1 purple. No, not 1 purple. We're going to risk the purple. We are going to all these blue and put it back in the bag. That will dilute the purple from being pulled. Maybe we don't pull any purples, and we'll see what the scientists can do on their turn. That's what we're going to do. Drawing 4, so we did draw 1 purple, so maybe this gamble won't pay off. And we did draw 2 blues, so depending on what rolls here, things might not be too well. I don't know how we got a 1 blue over here. Don't know what happened there. I'm guessing I might have just put the wrong dice in the wrong spot. I'm not 100% sure. Or maybe when I put it down, I moved the dice. I'd have to go back and look and see what I did. Hopefully, also, I don't know, again, I always forget this dice. Did I put any 6s up here recently? I don't think so. I might have, though. I'll just have to remember to do it if I roll a 6 this time. So I did not roll a 6, but I did roll a 2x. That means I draw another dice from the bag. Drew a yellow, and then I re-roll these 2 dice. So this means I take a dice from the bag, and it gets removed from the game. We got rid of 1 black. And then I re-roll this again. This goes in there. So, and 2. And this is gonna bug me. I don't know why this is here. But I don't think it would have changed the overall outlook of the game. All right, so that was the field director's turn. Is now the scientist's turn. We're gonna roll. We need some good rolls here. Good dice. Got 1 biohazard. We can handle 1 biohazard. And all right, so we got 2 boats. We don't really want 2 boats and 2 treats, so we are gonna re-roll 1 boat at a time and see what we get. Got another boat. Another infect, or a treat, another boat and treat. Let's keep that one and get rid of this boat. All right, we got 1 collect sample, so that's a good dice. Let's see what we get with this. Trying to get some samples. Okay, we got another sample. All right, so we can at best get 2. Let's re-roll 1 of these boats and treats and see what we get before we do anything else. We're looking for a 3rd sample. All right, perfect. So we have 3 samples and a treat. So we are simply going to a black dice where we are at, and then we're going to collect 3 samples. So that locks up 3 of the scientist's dice. That's the end of the turn, and we are simply going to... So we're hoping for an 11 or better. We got a 5, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that is enough for the scientist to cure black. So we are 4/5 of the way there. This feels a lot better than last game. These 2 are going to go back in the bag. So now we only have to cure purple. We're doing pretty good otherwise. I could skip the infect this turn, but I might as well just hold on to that until we get to like the 5 dice. We got 4 dice. Let's roll this and see what we get. Got 2 more of these. That's pretty good for us. And a 5. So no outbreaks. All right, let's roll the biohazard, or not the, don't want to roll the field director and see what we get. Oh wow, okay, see I said roll the biohazard and look what happens here. All right, so we got 3 biohazards. That's gonna be pretty bad for us. So we're gonna go 1, 2, so we are definitely getting an epidemic. So another 4 dice and another 3 yellow dice. So we are rolling all of this, and we only have these 2 dice left, and those 2 dice are not even that good for us, so let us see how bad this is. At the very least, we need the purple to be like a 5 or a, and not roll any of the other things that it can roll. A lot of outcomes with this purple dice that could be bad for us. Okay, that's a good one for the purple dice. I don't know if an epidemic happens. An outbreak does happen. Maybe a couple outbreaks happening. All right, so first, not what I wanted. Okay, first an outbreak happens here, so that's 1 outbreak. So I have to keep track of how many outbreaks. Then an outbreak's gonna happen here. 2 outbreaks. Another outbreak is gonna happen. That's 3 outbreaks. This is not an outbreak, and then this is also not an outbreak. So 3 outbreaks happen. So we go from 1 to 4, and our really safe game is looking a lot worse. And then we also roll this, and we get this symbol for treating if we need it. So then I only have a sample and a plane. Can't use the sample. Might hold on to the plane. So let's roll this dice. So we're looking for a treat. We need to clear up some dice. I would love to get some purple dice into the middle so that we can just try to get the scientist to quickly win the game, which might be what we do regardless. All right, we did get 1 treat. So I think we are going to do that, because we can skip our infection step. We're going to try and get dice into the middle. So let's re-roll this plane and see what happens. We got another treat. So we're going to do exactly that. We're going to just put this, and that is it for the turn. We're going to spend 3 to skip the infect, 1 quiet night, skip the infect region step this turn. We're not going to infect. When entering new regions this turn, move 1 infection dice from the region to the treatment. So that could be useful if we need it for the scientist. So now we just need to not do another crazy, horrible biohazard roll with the scientist, and we should be able to win. We have a few things that we can do to make it. All right, so we got 2 biohazards. Not great. not the outcome that we wanted, but at least we're not getting an epidemic. So we're going to collect these 2 samples, and then the purple dice have 5s and 4s on them, so it is feasible that we could win on this cure step, but we are not in a great place for a few reasons. And I don't want to re-roll this boat, but we are going to go here with this boat instead. So right now we're going to try to cure. We can potentially add 4 to this, but when we do it, we are going to potentially immediately, let me see what the order of operations are for this. Okay, so this is after rolling samples. This is like a emergency. We'll see if we even need to do it. The other thing we have to see is how many dice we have in the bag. We have more than 8 dice in the bag. So let's roll these 2 samples and just see what we roll. If we can roll 2 4s or a 5 and a 4, then we're in good shape. But we might not roll that. So we might be doing all this thinking for no reason. Okay, we did not roll what we need. Oh, actually, times 2. So if we add 3 dice, when does... So it's after finding the cure. Does the game end immediately when we find the cure? I don't know. It's one of these weird situations. Winning the game. As soon as you discover all 4 disease cures, or I'm assuming 5. So I don't know. You can let me know if I'm interpreting the rules wrong. This is a times 2. So right now it's 2 times 2 is 4. After rolling, when trying to find a cure, draw the dice from the bag and put them in the treatment center. To add plus 3 dice if you draw. If we draw 8. So we're going to draw 8 dice. 5, 6, 7. Now, I'm just putting them in the treatment center. I'm not doing anything with them, not rolling them or anything right now. We're just putting them in there. We're simulating this. So that, in theory, makes this a 5. So we're just going to make this a 5. So now we're at 10, and we need an 11. Well, technically, no. It says add to the total of any roll. So this is a weird one for the scientist, because the scientist makes this a 7. Well, I wonder how that works. Okay, so the rulebook does cover this situation, and also, I didn't realize this, but this is add to the total of any roll to try to find a cure in your region, which means that if another character is in the same region, then it adds +2. That's what the rulebook just confirmed. So if you did not know that, now you do. I didn't know that until just now. So there is that. Second, it does add before, so this is technically a 7. 7 times 2 is 14. But if I wanted to, I could have, before that, added this to make it a 6, to turn it into a 12. So technically I could still do it. What's weird with the timing on this is what this does is after you do it, you'd have to advance the infection rate. So then I would have to add 5 more dice, all these dice, roll them all, see how bad the result is, and die. But the way the game says, the second you find the cure, you win the game. So I don't know if you have to resolve this. Does not seem to clarify that. Like, I don't know if the game would end if I would use this dice, or if I would have to resolve all that. And again, that would be another 5 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll just simulate it just for fun. But I would have to add all these dice. Move these away. So either way, I don't need to do this because of the scientist's ability to add 2. It does add to the before this times 2. So it does turn into a 7. It's basically a 2 plus 3 from the questionable methods, and then plus another 2 to make it a 14, which cures, and we would win before this dice even comes into effect. But just to see what would have happened, is that I can't actually do the math on how bad this would actually be. We're going to roll all these dice. Luckily, we didn't get any weird effects, but we would have had 1 outbreak. We would have had not an outbreak, not an outbreak, not an outbreak, not an outbreak. We would have had 3 outbreaks. So it wouldn't have, we would not have lost the game, even with all of that. Even with all those dice, we would have only had 3 outbreaks, which is pretty good luck on our part. So either way, we win, which is good. This is my first win since returning to Pandemic the Cure. So we won with the scientist and the field director, but we only won on standard. So Probably the way I'll do it is if I have two characters that have not won on standard yet, I'll play them on standard. If I have one character's won on standard and one who hasn't won, I'll maybe try standard or maybe try heroic. Once I have two characters that have won on standard, then I will bump it up to heroic and try to see if I can win with heroic with them. And if I keep losing all the time on heroic, then I might bump it down to standard. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But for now, this was a standard victory with the scientist and the field director. And that is it. So this is the final state of the game. I hope you enjoyed watching this playthrough. Maybe you learned something with strategy. Maybe it was just good background noise. Maybe this is a game you really like. I don't know. But yes, thank you for watching. This has been Wakasm, and I will see you next time. There's a couple other different games I'll be playing in between these, so you will see like Pandemic the Cure, a couple other games, the Pandemic the Cure. I also have my Flip Down campaign going, so you'll see a couple of those games sneak in. I have a couple of recordings of older games that I never uploaded that won't be making it up because I recorded them, but then just never uploaded them. And I do want to start getting a couple weirder, heavier games to the table. That's next on my to-do list, although I'm still trying to figure out how I can possibly get the camera to get such a big game, so we're going to figure that out together. I might do some Hexplore It. I might do some, what's it called, Unsettled. Those are the two games. I might do some Seventh Citadel. So let me know if any of those games sound interesting. I also have to get Slay the Spire back to the table. I might also go back to the Kingdom Rust campaign. So any of these games, if they sound interesting to you, let me know in the comments so I know where to put my focus. And then in between all those, I'm still doing some video game stuff as well. So hopefully something on my channel is likable. And then I still want to do reviews in between this. And then I also at some point want to start live streaming. So I have a lot of things that I'm trying to build myself up to. I don't know how long it's going to take, but please give me a sub, give me a like, follow, anything that you can do. Let people know about me if you enjoy this content. And if not, that's understandable too. I will see you next time.